knowing the ins and outs of a particular industry could be helpful depending on what industry you're in. So if there's a specialized field, go for that. Hey, what's up? For those of you in the process of looking for someone to help build your website, looking for a web developer or a company to work with to help with that, I am in that same process with a company that I'm working with, and wanted to share some things that I've run across. I think it's not the most difficult thing to figure out. Obviously you have to put a little bit of research into it. Google's great for that, obviously, but I would start with looking up companies that specialize in whatever the topic or field is that you guys have an industry in that you might be working in. I've found that when I'm looking more generically, I can find companies that can do things broadly that have lots of experience, but knowing the ins and outs of a particular industry could be helpful depending on what industry you're in. So if there's a specialized field, go for that. See who the top companies are, what kind of examples they have on their websites. Check out who their team members are, look them up on LinkedIn, see where they've been, what they've been up to, what kind of work they've done. Or if you don't want to go with a big company and you'd rather work with a single web developer, you can go on sites like Fiverr and see what kind of freelance work is out there. That's a little harder to kind of gauge the work unless they have samples they can show you. Always request that. Working on it with anyone's sight unseen of their work would be pretty difficult to gauge what you're going to get out of that package. You can get pretty relatively low cost bids even from companies that do this rather than individuals. So I wouldn't start with just individuals. If you can look at companies as well, just use the internet, see what's out there. When you type in your industry of choice and their and web development or web design, create a list, call them up. Set up some calls after you've done your initial research. Jump on the phone with them, see what kind of questions they ask, what kind of vibe you get from the phone. Chemistry is important. And then once you've kind of gotten your list down to 5 to 10 people, ask them for proposals and see what you get. Once you can compare them to each other, it gets a lot easier to understand even the kind of things you're looking for. You may not know that right off the bat, but it helps a little bit. So those are some of the things we're doing right now, and about to jump into evaluating proposals, but thought I'd share some of that experience that I'm going through with you all. Talk soon.